So we're told that a set of consecutive integers, positive, beginning with 1, are written on a blackboard. And then a student comes along and erases one of them. And we're told that the average of the remaining numbers is 35, 7 over 17. So let's say there are n integers. So once we remove one of them, we're left with n minus 1 integers. So the sum of the n minus 1 integers would be their average times the number of integers, which is n minus 1. And I'm going to write this as a fraction. So 35 times 17. So that's 595. So they have to add that. So that's 602 over 17. Now this sum has to be an integer because I'm adding integers with the exception that I'm taking out 1. So this needs to be an integer, which means that n minus 1 has to be a multiple of 17. So n minus 1 has this form, or n is 17m plus 1. So possible values for n, at least, would be 18, double that, 34, plus 1, 35, 52, just finding multiples of 17, 69, and 17 times 5 is 85, so 86, so on and so forth. So those are the only possible values that n can take. I mean, there are an infinite number. And this is going to help us to kind of narrow down that number. And because we can start with, let's say n is 18. So then we know that the sum of those 18 integers would be 18 times 19 over 2. This is the using the nn plus 1 over 2 expression. So that's the sum, and then I take out one number, and then if I divide by the remaining numbers, which is 17, this needs to turn out to be this average, or 602 over 17. So we'll see if x turns out to be an integer that falls between 1 and 18, then that would be the answer. If it's not, then we have to choose a different value. So we can take that out. So that's 19 times 9. If this is 10, would be around 190. So x would be a negative. So this has to exceed this number. So we know 18 is not going to work. So I'm going to jump to a larger number. If n is 52, this would be 52 times 53 over 2 minus x over 51, and then I have 602 over 17. So this would be 602 times 3. So that's about 1800. This number here, again, 25 times 50. So this is again 1200 something. Not going to work. So I have to go to a higher number. So it's a little bit of a trial and error, as you notice. But I have to get to that point, high enough value of n, where this exceeds the term on the right. So if I use n is 69, the sum would be 69 times 70 over 2 minus the number I'm taking out, divided by 68 is equal to 602 over 17. If I multiply both sides by 68, I'm going to get a 4 here. So 602 times 4 is 2408. And that number here, let me just do 69 times 7, 42, 48, 30 divided by 2 would be 2415. So that's indeed greater, which means that x is 2415 minus 2408, which is 7. And that is the answer, which is choice A.